In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to create an amazing poster design. Grab your mouse as we dive in. So first and foremost, we are going to create a new document. Then we are going to choose a solid color. So we'll copy this S code. And we paste. With this in place, we are going to create a new layer. Grab a soft brush. Increase the brush size by the right bracket key. Set the opacity at 100. Set our foreground at white. Then we click once. With the layer selected, we change the blend mode to overlay. We reduce the opacity. We can set that at 100. So we set it at 100. Then we are going to create an exposure adjustment layer. With the mask selected, we grab a soft brush. And we set the opacity at 100. We set our foreground to black. Then at the bottom part here, we are going to make a few clicks. So now let's grab our resources. So first of all, we are going to copy this layer, Ctrl+C to copy, Ctrl+V to paste. We right click and convert to smart object, then we scale it up. So we position it. Once it is in place, we are going to create a mask. Then we grab the gradient tool. The gradient set to foreground to transparent, then we are going to erase some part of it. With the move tool selected, we are going to adjust it. So let's go for our next item. We can put this layer up, then we can copy this. Ctrl+C to copy, Ctrl+V to paste. Right click and convert to smart object, Ctrl+T to transform. So we scale it up. With the mask. With the gradient tool selected. Then we just drag this way to clean some part of it. So we go for our next item. So we can put all these layers we don't need now off. Then we grab this item, the road. Ctrl+C to copy, Ctrl+V to paste. Then we position it this way. We adjust it a bit. We go for our next item. So we copy this item this time around. Ctrl+C to copy, Ctrl+V to paste. We copy this. Then we drop the layer. And go for our next item. Ctrl+C to copy, Ctrl+V to paste. We convert to smart object. We right click and convert to smart object. We are going to position it. We drop the layer first. Then we scale it up. We rotate it. We copy our next item. We drop this layer. So Ctrl C to copy. Then we paste Ctrl V. So we drop this layer. We then place Ctrl J to make a copy. Right click and convert to smart object. So we copy the text. And we are going to position it at the bottom. So we copy this item. Convert, right click and convert to smart object. Ctrl J, then we make a copy. So Ctrl T and we make it smaller, we scale it down. So we copy this one. So we are going to position this. First of all, we reduce the opacity so that we can see through it. Because we are going to cut out a selection out of it. So we can put that layer off. Then position this one a bit. We try to adjust it so that it stays in place. Then we can bring this layer back. And we're going to apply a curves adjustment layer. This is before and after. So we're going to drop the layer beneath the grass layer. So let's make this a bit. So the grass layer selected, we zoom in. Reduce the opacity so that we can see through it, because we are going to subtract a selection out of it. So we create a mask, we grab our pen tool, and we are going to create a selection around it by seeing the road. So we are creating a selection actually around the road and subtracting it from the grass layer. I hope you understand. So we are creating a selection on the grass layer, but actually we are surrounding the road. Sorry, undo that. So you go the other way. Once it's in place, you press Ctrl Enter, then you create a selection. You grab any of the marquee tool. You set foreground to black. Click, and you fill. So we are filling it with our foreground, which is black. So anything in the selection will disappear. Once it is gone, then we have it this way. Then we take our opacity back to 100. Right click and convert this to a smart object. So we rotate it a bit. With the road selected, we are going to create a curves adjustment layer. We clip it onto the layer so the effect applies only to the layer. This is before and after. With the road selected again, we are going to create an exposure adjustment layer. So this time around we are creating shadows. This is before and after. With the mask selected, Ctrl I to invert. Then we are grabbing a soft tone brush. We reduce our opacity a bit. We take it down actually. Then we set our foreground at white because we are going to paint. Right click and change the roundness of the brush. So you can actually do that manually. So you make the brush smaller by the left bracket key. Then we are going to paint just some shadows, some subtle shadows onto the road. Not that much. Right click and you change the roundness. So you can manipulate the roundness by right clicking and you just use your mouse and drag, and you can actually manipulate that any way you want. So with the glass layer selected, we are creating an exposure adjustment layer and clip it onto the glass layer so the effect applies only to the layer. This is before and after. With the mask selected, Ctrl I to invert. Then we grab a soften brush, we right click and change our roundness to normal. So we scroll down, set our foreground to white, and we are going to paint. So we increase our opacity. Then we are going to paint some shadows just this way. This is before and after. With this layer selected, we are creating an exposure adjustment layer clipped onto the layer. Before and after, with the mask selected, Ctrl I to invert. Then we grab a soft tone brush. Then we are going to paint some shadows. So we are going to create an exposure. So this time around we are creating shadows or highlight for any other thing that we see around here. So anything in the work area, we are actually creating an exposure adjustment layer. With the mask selected, Ctrl I to invert, and we are going to set our foreground to white and paint some shadows. So we make the brush bigger by the right bracket key. I increase the opacity a bit and I paint some shadows. I'm actually going to speed the subsequent one since it's the same old tricks for almost everything here. So we are creating a curves adjustment layer and clip it onto this layer again. So with this layer selected, we are creating an exposure adjustment layer. This is applying to every layer. So we are going to clip it onto the layer, so that it applies only to the layer with the mask selected. Control I to invert. We grab a soften brush, increase our opacity a bit. If we decrease, then we set our foreground out white, and we are going to paint some shadows. So with this layer selected, we make a copy. Control J, and we create an exposure adjustment layer onto the one beneath. So with the layer selected, you right click and you distort. So we are creating some shadows behind it as if it's reflecting onto the skateboard. So we apply some Gaussian blur. We set our radius at 11, then we are going to reduce the opacity so that it's not too much. Now we go for our next item. So this time around we are picking the cars. So we can actually select these two layers. Yeah, just these two layers. Control C to copy, Control V to paste. So we have all the cars over here. Then we convert to, right click and convert to a smart object. We do the same for all the three. Control T, so you make it small. We're really making it very small. So you right click and flip horizontal. Control T. So we make this smaller as well. We scale this down as well. So now with this layer selected, we create a new layer beneath it. I don't actually know what I'm about to do here, but I think this wasn't worth it. Because after creating countless shadows beneath it, I didn't like it. I created the mask and I made several selections. I still didn't look good because I don't want it to be looking as if it's standing. Let's go. I feel this is too much. I erased some part of it, but still it didn't look nice. So I just left it along the line. Ctrl C to copy, Ctrl V to paste. Right click and convert to smart object. Ctrl T will make it bigger. Scale it up. So you press enter or click the check button to confirm. We are sending the blend mode to screen. Then we're going to apply a level adjust to just this layer. So we clip it onto the layer. We take the sliders down. This is before and after. With the layer selected, we create a mask. Ctrl I to invert so everything disappears. Then we grab a software brush, we right click and change the roundness back to normal. Then we decrease our opacity. We set our foreground to white since we want to paint some back. I didn't increase the opacity too much since we don't want it to be appearing all over the place. So we set our foreground to black and we are going to erase. We set it to white, so you can use X to toggle between white and black. The foreground and the back color, you can toggle between the two by pressing the S key on the keyboard. Once that is in place, we lock that layer. So I'm going to apply an exposure adjustment layer onto this one with the mask selected. Ctrl I to invert. Grab a soft tone brush. Once everything is in place, we press Ctrl or Shift E to merge layers, right click and convert to a smart object. Then we go for camera raw, so filter, camera raw filter. Then we are going to play with these settings as always. This is before and after camera raw filter. This one has definitely been a very long one. Thanks for sticking around. I hope to see you in the next one. Until then, stay creative.